You should allow an extra cushion of space. A. When following a station wagon. B. When following a driver who cannot see the rear of their vehicle. C. When following a small passenger car. Posters, signs, and stickers on the windshield and windows. A. Are a fun way to personalize your vehicle. B. Are permitted if they allow the driver at least a little visibility. C. Are prohibited, unless they are otherwise specifically required by law. C. Are prohibited, unless they are otherwise specifically required by law. Obstructions on windows are prohibited. No sign, poster, or sticker may be placed on any window of any vehicle, unless it is specifically required by law to be on the vehicle's window. This bicyclist is signaling. A. A left turn. B. An upcoming stop. C. A right turn. This sign means A. Railroad ahead. B. No passing zone. C. School zone.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
Which of these statements is true about driving and taking medications? A. Most cold medications can make a person drowsy. B. Over-the-counter medications cannot impair driving ability if taken in the recommended dosages. C. Medications are safe to take at any time, if prescribed by a doctor. A. Most cold medications can make a person drowsy. Remember that all medications, prescription or over-the-counter, are potentially dangerous and could impair your driving. Over-the-counter medicines that you take for colds and allergies can make you drowsy and affect your driving ability. It is your responsibility to know how your medication affects your ability to drive. Which of these statements is true about drinking alcohol and driving? A. If you can walk in a straight line after drinking, it is safe to drive. B. If you are under the legal blood alcohol concentration limit, your driving isn't impaired. C. Alcohol affects judgment, which is needed to drive safely. This road sign means A. You are about to enter a one-way street from the wrong direction. B. U-turns are prohibited. C. You may proceed if the way is clear. A. You are about to enter a one-way street from the wrong direction. This sign marks a one-way road, entrance, or exit. If you are facing this sign, traffic is coming toward you. Turn around if you are driving toward this sign. Under normal weather, road, and traffic conditions, maintain a minimum following distance of A. 1 second. B. 2 seconds. C. 3 seconds. C. 3 seconds. The more distance between your vehicle and others, the more time you will have to react if another driver makes a mistake. Maintain a minimum following distance of 3 seconds when driving under normal conditions. Increase your following distance when driving under unusual weather, road, or traffic conditions. When entering an interstate highway, you should A. Stop, check for cars, and enter when safe. B. Check for cars and reduce your speed to 25 miles per hour before entering the traffic lane. C. Check for cars, increase your speed to match the flow of traffic, and merge when the way is clear. C. Check for cars, increase your speed to match the flow of traffic, and merge when the way is clear. Rather than stopping as you would when entering other roads, you must use the merging or acceleration lane to speed up and smoothly merge with fast-moving traffic already on the interstate. Which of the following driving skills are affected by the use of alcohol and/or drugs? A. Alertness. B. Coordination. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. Alcohol and other drugs can negatively affect a number of skills needed for safe driving, including a driver's reaction time, coordination, alertness, and ability to concentrate. If you find yourself driving alongside another vehicle on a multi-lane road, you should: A. Maintain your speed. B. Ask the other driver to slow down. C. Move ahead or drop back. C. Move ahead or drop back. Avoid driving directly alongside other vehicles on multi-lane roadways. The other driver may not be able to see you and may pull into your vehicle when trying to change lanes. Move ahead or drop back when you are driving in another vehicle's blind spot. This sign means: A. Yield the right of way. B. No passing zone. C. Reduction in lanes. A. Yield the right of way. A triangular red and white sign indicates that you must yield the right of way. This sign means: A. 4-lane traffic ahead. B. Divided highway ahead. C. 2-way traffic ahead. C. 2-way traffic ahead. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. They alert you to conditions that are immediately ahead. This sign warns that you are leaving a separated one-way highway and will soon be driving on a two-way highway. You should yield to a pedestrian. A. Only if they are in a crosswalk. B. At all times, even if the pedestrian is not obeying traffic laws. C. Only if the traffic lights are in the pedestrian's favor. B. At all times, even if the pedestrian is not obeying traffic laws. Always be aware of pedestrians near your vehicle. You must do everything you can to prevent striking a pedestrian, regardless of the circumstances. This sign means: A. Trucks under 18,000 pounds are allowed. B. Hill ahead. C. Truck stop ahead. B. Hill ahead. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. They alert you to conditions that are immediately ahead. This sign indicates that there is a steep hill ahead. Slow down and be ready to shift to a lower gear to control your speed and protect your brakes from damage. You should use your horn when: A. Another vehicle is in your way. B. It may help prevent a collision. C. Another driver makes a mistake. B. It may help prevent a collision. Only use your horn when it is necessary to avoid collisions. Do not use your horn if a driver or bicyclist is moving slowly and you want him or her to drive faster or get out of your way. You are driving on a one-way street. You may only turn left onto another one-way street if: A. You increase your speed before the turn. B. Traffic on the street moves to the right. C. Traffic on the street moves to the left. C. Traffic on the street moves to the left. You may turn left onto a one-way street that moves to the left if there is no sign prohibiting the turn. You may not turn left onto a one-way street where traffic moves to the right. If all occupants have exited a vehicle, the engine may be left running. A. Under no circumstances. B. If the driver will only be away for a couple minutes. C. If the driver will be away for less than an hour. A. Under no circumstances. The law requires you to turn off the engine and remove the key from the ignition when leaving a vehicle. Always lock your vehicle when leaving it, even if you are only going to be away for a short period of time. If you find yourself in a skid, A. Brake lightly. B. Stay off the brakes. C. Brake abruptly. B. Stay off the brakes. If your vehicle begins to skid, do not use the brakes. Braking could make the skid worse. If there is no crosswalk and you see a pedestrian crossing your lane, you should A. Make sure the pedestrian can see you before proceeding. B. Cautiously drive around the pedestrian. C. Stop and let the pedestrian finish crossing. C. Stop and let the pedestrian finish crossing. Drivers must always yield the right-of-way to pedestrians in the roadway, even if there is not a marked crosswalk. To see vehicles in your blind spots, you should check A. The inside rearview mirror. B. The outside rearview mirror. C. Over your shoulders. C. Over your shoulders. By definition, blind spots are areas that cannot be seen using your mirrors. To check your blind spots, you should look over your shoulders. To improve visibility lowered by rain or fog, drivers should use their A. Low beam headlights. B. High beam headlights. C. Parking lights. A. Low beam headlights. Low beam headlights should be used when driving in rainy or foggy weather. Even if they do little to help you see, low beams will make it easier for others to see you. If you approach a flashing red traffic light, you A. Are traveling in the wrong direction. B. Must treat the intersection as if it is controlled by a stop sign. C. May not proceed until it changes to green. B. Must treat the intersection as if it is controlled by a stop sign. Treat a flashing red light the same as a stop sign. Come to a complete stop at the stop line or, if there is no stop line, prior to the crosswalk and before entering the intersection. Yield to all other traffic and pedestrians. This sign means A. Slow down, curving road ahead. B. Slow down and do not use your brakes. C. Slow down, slippery when wet. C. Slow down, slippery when wet. This sign warns that the road ahead becomes slippery when wet. If a vehicle is equipped with airbags, A. Seat belts should still be worn. B. Seat belts do not need to be worn. C. Seat belts should be worn behind the back. A. Seat belts should still be worn. Airbags are important safety devices that provide protection in crashes. For best protection, a vehicle's lap and shoulder belts should be used in combination with airbags. A solid yellow line next to a broken yellow line means that vehicles A. Driving in both directions may pass. B. Next to the broken line may pass. C. Next to the solid line may pass. B. Next to the broken line may pass. Yellow lines separate lanes of traffic moving in opposite directions. A broken yellow line next to your driving lane means that you may pass. This is the shape and color of a fill in the blank sign. A. Stop. B. Wrong way. C. Yield. C. Yield. Downward-facing triangular signs mean drivers must yield. When approaching a yield sign, slow down to a speed that is reasonable for existing conditions and stop if necessary. If you must stop, do so at a marked stop line, if it exists. You exit the freeway on a ramp that curves downhill. You should A. Slow to a safe speed before the curve. B. Slow to the posted speed limit for the freeway. C. Wait until you have entered the curve to begin braking. A. Slow to a safe speed before the curve. You should always slow down before entering a curve. You may not be able to see hazards ahead, and braking in a curve may cause your vehicle to skid. An orange-colored sign like this means A. There is roadwork ahead. B. You must change lanes ahead. C. There is a detour ahead. A. There is roadwork ahead. Orange-colored signs indicate construction areas. Proceed with caution. Drivers turning left must yield to A. Oncoming vehicles traveling straight or turning right. B. Passing cars. C. No one in particular. A. Oncoming vehicles traveling straight or turning right. Drivers making a left turn must yield to all vehicles approaching from the opposite direction. This includes bicycles and motorcycles. When driving on the highway, consistently looking far ahead of your vehicle. A. Helps you keep up with traffic. B. Reduces the need for last-minute braking or turning. C. Allows you to spot upcoming police officers. B. Reduces the need for last-minute braking or turning. To avoid the need for last-minute braking or turning, consistently watch the road far ahead of your vehicle. By looking ahead and being ready to stop or change lanes if needed, you can drive more safely, save fuel, and help keep traffic moving at a steady pace. This sign means A. Merge right. B. Divided highway begins. C. Lane ends. C. Lane ends. This sign indicates that the right lane ends ahead. A merging maneuver will be required for drivers in that lane. It is unlawful to A. Pass another vehicle in any marked no passing zone. B. Pass another vehicle over a railroad crossing. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. It is illegal to cross the centerline to pass when driving on hills, in curves, and in other locations where you cannot see ahead far enough to pass safely. You may not pass at street crossings, at railroad crossings, where signs indicate no passing zones, or where a solid yellow line is next to your lane. You may not pass when the vehicle in front of you has stopped for a pedestrian or when driving in work zones where passing would be hazardous. When preparing to make a left turn from a two-way street, you should drive. A. Near the right-hand side of the road. B. Near the center line. C. On the left of the center line. B. Near the center line. When you are turning left from a two-way street, begin in the lane closest to the center line and start your turn just before the front of your car reaches the center of the intersection. Do not cut the corner. Steering hand over hand, turn into the first available legal lane. No passing zone. Signs tell drivers: A. To speed up slightly. B. That it is not safe to pass. C. To maintain a steady speed. B. That it is not safe to pass. If you come across a "No Passing Zone" sign, it is not legal to pass in the indicated area. You are likely driving in an area with restricted visibility where it would be unsafe to pass another vehicle. Yellow lines separate: A. Traffic lanes on one-way streets. B. Traffic moving in opposite directions on two-way roads. C. All carpool lanes from regular traffic lanes. B. Traffic moving in opposite directions on two-way roads. Yellow lines mark the center of a road used for two-way traffic. A solid yellow centerline indicates that drivers may not cross the line to pass. A broken yellow centerline indicates that drivers may cross the line to pass, but only if passing would not interfere with traffic. When driving on an interstate, to avoid traffic merging from on-ramps to your right, the best thing to do is to: A. Change lanes to the left. B. Slow down. C. Maintain your speed and position. A. Change lanes to the left. When driving on an interstate highway, be aware of upcoming on-ramps. When traffic permits, move out of the right-hand lane to allow vehicles to enter from the on-ramps to your right. Collisions are more likely to happen when: A. All vehicles are traveling at about the same speed. B. One lane of traffic is traveling faster than the other lanes. C. One vehicle is traveling faster or slower than the flow of traffic. C. One vehicle is traveling faster or slower than the flow of traffic. Collisions are more likely to happen when one driver moves faster or slower than the other vehicles on the road. Driving faster than other traffic increases your chance of being involved in a collision. Driving more slowly than other traffic is also dangerous because it can increase the risk of a rear-end collision with your vehicle or cause other drivers to swerve to avoid hitting you. You should not make sudden stops in front of large trucks and buses because: A. Small vehicle drivers cannot adequately see large trucks and buses in their rear-view mirrors. B. Large trucks and buses, due to their size and weight, require longer distances to stop than smaller passenger vehicles. C. Large trucks and buses travel at a higher speeds than small vehicles. B. Large trucks and buses, due to their size and weight, require longer distances to stop than smaller passenger vehicles. Large vehicles require longer distances to stop and accelerate than smaller vehicles do. Making a sudden stop in front of a large vehicle is dangerous because the other driver may not be able to stop in time to avoid a collision. If you are about to be hit from the rear, you should consider each of the following, except for: A. Applying your brakes. B. Letting go of the steering wheel. C. Pressing your head firmly against the head restraint. B. Letting go of the steering wheel. If your vehicle is hit from the rear while you are in forward motion, your body will be thrown backward. Press yourself against the back of your seat and put your head against the head restraint to prevent whiplash. Maintain a firm grip on the steering wheel and be ready to apply your brakes to avoid being pushed into another vehicle.